Welcome back to Dark Corners Streaming. The Call of Cthulhu, which you can stream on Amazon Prime, was a low-budget labour of love for its makers and an attempt to make a faithful film version of H.P. Lovecraft's unfilmable story of the same name. The production addressing that aspect by leaning into the unreality, making the film silent and styling it as if it was made when it was written in the 1920s. First things first, does it look like a silent film of the mid-20s? No, not really. It's very difficult to artificially recreate the quality of film stock back then, and on a low budget, practically impossible. There are stylistic touches that just don't smack of the era, and modern effects to realise the necessary grandeur. But the point of the film isn't to kid you into thinking this was made 100 years ago, and the filmmakers are upfront that this is a mix of modern and vintage techniques, which they have dubbed mythoscope. Vintage is actually a good word in that sense of, we're not pretending it's antique, but it still looks cool. And anyway, the point of this is to tell the story right. This ranks as one of the most faithful adaptations of Lovecraft's work ever put on film. I'm told. That does come with the caveat that I know very little about Lovecraft. I'll be looking at it just as a film. And as a film, I quite liked it. It does a good job of setting up its premise and building suspense for what I guess we know is coming. The expressionist-inspired nightmare is great. And the music throughout is fantastic, a really key part of the storytelling. There might be one too many flashbacks, which might be due to an overzealous adherence to the text, but the investigation is well realised, slowly revealing its mythology. It is title heavy, with characters back and forthing alongside chunks of prose, which is weirdly satisfying to me because it accidentally reflects the evolution of silent film. In the early days, there were more titles to explain what's going on, but as audiences became more savvy and directors better learned visual storytelling, the titles were pared back. Maybe I noticed this more because I watch more silent films than most people, but I think anyone watching would think that's quite a lot of reading. And it's notable that the climax, which is virtually title-free, is where this flows the best. It's where the film is most satisfying and most spectacular. Featuring special effects that we're not going to spoil by revealing, which are stylistically appropriate and I think look great. At 45 minutes, this doesn't outstay its welcome, but if you prefer a more realistic approach, then it's still going to pall. Personally, I like its style. These are not realistic events. I see no reason to portray them realistically. Maybe that's the only way to address the material, I don't know, but it turns its low budget into a positive because it stands out. Whether it's your cup of tea or not, it's an extraordinary achievement by the team. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Any thoughts on this one? Anyone who knows more about Lovecraft than me care to weigh in?